I appreciate you being here. I appreciate as I ate my lunch, just kind of hearing the camaraderie of the group. I really appreciate that not only do you share an interest in OCU athletics, but you really seem to get along with one another. And what I've learned as I've gotten older is if you can just find a little bit of happiness, you're doing pretty well. So I appreciate that, and will tell you that your great attitude impacts me in a positive way. This really, I think every time I get up here, I tell you how busy we are. This is really the really busy grind time of the year with baseball and softball and basketball and wrestling. And we've had our first cheer and some competitions and on and on and on. So it's a hectic time. We encourage and hope that you'll be a part of everything that's going on. And we have more to tell you about and invite you to be a part of. Before we do that, we always introduce our student athletes who are here. We never know who that's going to be. If you're an OCU student athlete, if you'd stand up, we'll just have you introduce yourself real quickly. Just tell you, if you're an athlete, stand up. Everybody's looking uncertain, so I'm gonna start. We're gonna do Beauty and the Beast. So we'll let Jamie go first. I'll let you decide if he's Beauty and the Beast. Jamie, tell us who you are, what sport you play, and what year you are in school.
I'm a transfer from Odessa, West Texas. I'm a junior. I play golf and I'm from Perth, Western Australia.
And tell them your name.
Jamie Warner.
There you go. Katie Lee, you go.
I'm Katie Lee Wilson. I'm on the women's golf team and I'm softball.
I'm Delaney Messenger. I'm a junior and I play volleyball.
I'm Cody Fowl. I'm a sophomore. I'm from Colorado and I'm wrestling.
All right, let's give them all When I was a college student, I probably didn't look forward to having to get up and introduce myself either. So, however, we give you a free meal and you got it. Just a couple of pieces of business and then we'll get to our reports. I've put a Sports Spectacular brochure on each of your tables. The Sports Spectacular is our largest fundraising event of the year in athletics. It is a dinner, and at the event we have a live and silent auction, and we also honor an individual that's made contributions to sports in Oklahoma. We encourage you to consider joining us at this event. You'll see that we sell tickets. We'd also ask that you might consider helping us find items that we can include in the auction. Anything of value can be auctioned already. I have sort of an assortment of items coming into my office, but whether it's a stay at a hotel or use of a timeshare or a condo, jewelry, artwork, tires, anything of value can be auctioned. So we ask that you contemplate that. If you have a relationship that you're willing to utilize to benefit us for this event, then we hope that you would do it and would appreciate it very much. We're also hosting the conference basketball tournament March 4th through the 7th. If you had an interest in volunteering for that tournament, in particular, probably need some help with the hospitality area. The primary benefit of volunteering would be free admission to any of the games in the tournament. So we have 4 games on March 4th. We have 8 games on March 5th. So that's literally like 8 in the morning until midnight. We have 4 more games on the Friday and then 2 on the Saturday. If you have an interest in that, if you kind of let me know what your availability might be, then we'll try to get you signed up and we can use your help for that. We kind of become conference tournament central. We host basketball, baseball, softball. We hosted cross country as well in the fall, and so we're busy with lots of tournaments. Okay, let's start with some updates. You know, we're still right in the middle of the grind in basketball. We're going to get basketball updates. But we've started our spring sports. We've gone a couple of years without really talking much in this group about softball. We're off and running in softball, and looks like We're off to a great start. So we're going to start today by getting an update on our softball program. Welcome our head coach, Phil McSpadden.
We serve an awesome God, and the way He loves us and takes care of us and blesses us is amazing. He blesses me because He didn't make me talk in front of this group but once every 2 or 3 years. He blesses you because He doesn't make you talk in front of this group once every 2 or 3 years. We've got a good group this year. We've got more girls we've ever suited up before. We've got 18 players. Unfortunately, we've got 8 seniors. Last year we only had 1. You kind of get out of track a little bit on your recruiting. So we took some transfers and put us larger in this class. But 5 of these girls will graduate in May. The other 3 will graduate next December. Our fall GPA was almost 3.7. So you can imagine how much of a joy it is for us to work with intelligent student athletes. And that's what this group is. Because of the larger numbers, I can actually look over on the bench and I've got a pinch runner, and I've got a pinch bunner, and I've got a pinch hitter. We haven't had that in so many years. So I think it's going to be an exciting team to watch. We felt like last year we got hot at the right time. We were a little bit limited in some areas. We put some people maybe out of position, and we think we've addressed that quite well. We went into this year thinking that our number 5 preseason rating, Rich, does that sound right? Was accurate, because we're excited about this bunch. Our pitching is better. Straight across the board, we think it's an exciting team to watch. So I will shut up by just saying, come out and watch us. I think you'll enjoy the style of ball we play. We've got more team speed we've had in recent years. So like I said, we can run more. We can do hit and run, button runs, things like that. We've been somewhat limited. And you might see a coach that doesn't argue with an umpire as much, because we're a little bit better, and he doesn't get ejected from ball games. Thank
Were there any questions for Coach?
How many pitchers? 3?
You got 5.
All right.
I would have thought this group would be interested to hear about Jeannie and Ruck.
We'll defer that one to next year. How about that?
Okay. All right. Do you have anything to add to that? No? Okay. All right, well, let's move on to basketball, and I'm just going to do it proximity-wise. So, Coach Phelps, you're the closest. Let's get an update on men's basketball.
We have, over the last couple of weeks, we've actually had, we're probably playing our best ball right now. And if you look at any team in the country, this is the time of the year you want to be playing your best ball. It's here in February, leading into March. And so far, we've won our last 7 out of 8 games. And like was mentioned earlier today, we got in our meeting, is that we went down to Wayland Baptist, and I'm really trying to figure out how to make that trip and be successful, have our legs where they're supposed to be. But this is the 2nd year in a row we've gone down there and got our butts handed to us. And he does a great job, but I think part of that too is us beating them when they come here. So I guess we're both trying to figure out how do you make this trip, which is, I think it's about 5.5 hours, and still have your guys ready to play. But it has taken a toll on us a little bit. But we were able to rebound again when we got back over at OBU, which was a very interesting game going down the stretch, but we figured out how to pull out a win with, I think it was 42 seconds left and down by 5. Our players just went to a whole new level defensively, which was, I'm very proud of them for doing that. And we got the win. We were very fortunate to get that win and got it. So now we have four conference games left before the conference tournament begins. And for us, it's really important. I know when you look at our schedule, you see that we don't have as many games as most teams have. One of the things, and I know Latricia feels this way also, is scheduling is really tough for us, for me and Latricia. So we have to play a lot of Division I, NCAA Division I teams, and try to play a lot of NCAA Division II teams to try to fill our roster, our schedule. And so I think we only have we're like 13-7 or something like that in a record, where we should have 20 and something. Well, last year that hurt us a little bit. We were successful, but yet I think our schedule didn't look, our win-loss record didn't look as good because we didn't have as many games on the schedule. But I've stayed away from playing a lot of teams that are just gimme teams, because I don't think they get you better. I think the Division I programs that we've been playing and the Division IIs have helped prepare us for this month right here. So hopefully we can continue doing that. Some of the highlights, I think Gary England now is what we call a walking double-double. I think he's averaging 20 points and 10 rebounds a game. He's one of the top in the country. He finally was recognized as a player of the week in our conference, which to me, not to beat up on our conference, but I thought, it's about time. The kid has been working his tail off all year long, doing exactly what he's been doing to receive the honor this past week. He's been doing it all year long, but we'll take it. And that's not really our ultimate goal, but I really wanted to recognize him for what he's doing, and then the rest of the guys are just really playing it at a very, very, very high level right now. One of the things that has helped us become a little bit more successful is RJ McGee has obviously is starting to embrace the role of other players being able to step up. And I think that's a great step for him as far as his maturity is concerned, is to allow other players to be great. Because I think as that continues to happen, I think more success is going to come for him, and it's going to come at the right time. It could be this week, it could be later in the conference tournament, but we all know how the explosive scorer he is, and I think that that's going to definitely happen. So he's accepted a new role, and it's been great for us. It's been tremendous. So coming up, we have St. Gregory's, who's pretty tough. They're going to be, I'm sure they're pretty frustrated with us, and they'll come in ready to play. And then after that, we have to continue going on. We got Southwest Assembly of God, we got John Brown. All these teams are just ranked, still ranked in the nation of receiving votes. Our schedule doesn't get any easier. So these last 4 games are going to mean, it's going to mean everything to us as far as we position ourselves, hopefully for a national appearance. So outside of that, Terrence Bonhome's rehab is going well with his ACL injury. Gemma is back on the floor. He had a leg injury, a high ankle sprain or a high bruise. That is, I think he's right now probably about 80% right now. And outside of that, everybody's pretty healthy. So, you guys have any questions? Okay, all right, that's it.
So basketball-wise, we are home tomorrow night at 6 and 8 against St. Gregory's, and we're home this Saturday, 3 and 5. We play USAO. It's always interesting. I'll just give you a little insight with coaches. When I heard Dionne talking about our upcoming opponents, what I really knew, he did better than I thought, because he kind of knew some of the teams that we still have to play. But Dionne and I will meet, and I'll say, who do we play? And he never knows. He knows, and I should say that differently. He knows the next opponent, but he doesn't know anything beyond that, because it's one at a time. The old cliche that you always hear. Anyway, the men have made a great, have really sort of found that chemistry and teamwork, and it's been a fun thing to see. So, now we're going to move on to women's basketball, and I see my coach laughing, so I've probably done something wrong. No. We're going to update on women's basketball from our head coach, Latricia Trammell.
Thank you, Mr. Abbott. Great seeing everyone. Phil, it shouldn't be every 2 to 3 years. You're a great speaker. Give Phil another round of applause. He does a lot more, I'm telling you. And Dionne, I wish I had a walking double-double. That would help us greatly too, I'm telling you. Our women's basketball team is doing fantastic. We are currently in conference 13 and 1. We are in first place. We have a 2-game lead against second place right now with 4 games remaining. As Dionne mentioned, we play tomorrow versus St. Gregory's at 6 o'clock p.m. I wanted to tell you that tomorrow is our Think Pink night for breast cancer awareness. So we will be wearing pink uniforms, and guys, be tough enough to wear pink. Come support this great cause. In fact, one of our favorite fans is actually a breast cancer survivor, and she's going to come and talk to the girls prior to our game. So we're looking forward to that. Also tomorrow, you're going to see a few people dressed in red, because we're also setting up a table in our lobby for women's heart issues. And so there's going to be, I hope I say this right, Phi Gamma Delta, something like that, that's going to be there in support of that great cause, and they're going to be giving some great information out. So it's good to work with our community and bring awareness to a lot of women's issues. So we're looking forward to that. Saturday, 3:00 p.m. against SAGU. So we've got to take care of business. Like I said, we have 4 games left. We're sitting with a 2-game lead, and we can't take anything for granted. As Dionne mentioned, last week was a aggressive week. It was tough. We went to Wayland Baptist, a hard place to play, got the win, came back Friday morning, returned about 2:30 in the morning, and then went and played a very tough ODU game Saturday afternoon. And we are now awake. We did receive our first loss that Saturday, and we had a great team meeting yesterday. We talked for about an hour about those things. It's hard to tell girls when you haven't lost and you're undefeated that we needed to improve and we needed to correct some of these little things that make the big things happen. And after the game, they looked and said, we know, we've got it now, we've got it. But sometimes it takes that to get refocused and regrouped and reloaded going into this next 4 games. Overall, 18-2 record. We are still, even after our loss on Saturday, we are still ranked number 2 in the country. And I've just been thoroughly impressed with our young ladies. They're a good group with 6 new ones, 5 returners, and they have really bought in, and I enjoy them. And I think that really matters when you enjoy your team and they're coachable and they want to compete and have fun. And other than that, 2 young ladies, senior Ratiska Brown and senior Ulimantu Kulibali, they received 2 great honors last month. They, both of them had top 10 great performances in the state of Oklahoma in women's basketball out of every level. So I thought it was really impressive to have 2 in the top 10, especially when you see OU and Oral Roberts and Oklahoma State, and then there we were, right there with them. So I thought that was a great honor for these 2 young women. Again, thank you for your support. I know at OBU we had such a great turnout. It always means a lot to us. And we just, again, appreciate you. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow evening. And have a great, great day. Thank you so much.
Rich, do we play USAL on Saturday? So Latricia just proved my point. She said, come watch us play SAGU. Coaches don't know beyond the very next game.
She did because we play them Thursday.
Yes, at SAGU.
The next Thursday.
Okay.
She was looking at it.
Right.
We don't care. We'll take all of them on Saturday.
It doesn't matter as long as we win.
I don't know.
We find ourselves with just a couple more minutes. So Archie, we met Cody. But it seems to me that the group might appreciate knowing more about what she and some of her teammates did this weekend. So do you mind just kind of giving us a little bit more about Cody and a little bit? You can do it from right there if you like.
The girls wrestled this weekend. We wrestled very well. They wrestled very hard, but we have had problems with injuries all season long, and we lost another girl with the points. So it's kind of dampened our efforts to be champions, and we finished 3rd by 1 point. One of the girls lost in the consolation semis and blew her knee out, so she injured faulted back to 7, which cost us to lose 8 or 9 points. But we did have 9 All-Americans. We also, Emily Webster was the 4-time national champion, undefeated, and the outstanding wrestler of the tournament. With one Emily tacked or pinned everybody she wrestled. We did have another national champion, which we're real proud of, who was a sophomore, who pinned everybody that she wrestled in the tournament. She's probably scored, she didn't know how many points she scored, but she scored 32 points for the team. And we're real proud of her. She's only a sophomore, that's totally Guys are headed to regionals this weekend. We take 12 guys to the regionals. 8 of them are seeded. 8 of them are ranked nationally, and the team now is ranked 10. I still don't know how we ended up being 10 after we beat the teams that are above us, but that's just the way it works. So we're looking to have a pretty successful weekend with the guys too. Any questions? Oh yeah, and the guys did beat UCO. Handed.
Somebody meant was Emily Webster going to be interviewed?
Yeah, she got interviewed by Jenny Carlson yesterday. And so the next couple of days, still there's an article in the paper on her efforts. But you couldn't tell that Emily was her. She pretty much destroyed everybody. It was, I think in the finals, she checked the rubber finals, what, Coach, minute 15, minute 20, something like that. When we have her and Cody back to back, it's been really nice. Cody snatched it throughout the first year, came in actually. It was nice to have her. Of course, their workout partners too. And friends, and live together. And our great students. They're a good group, because we're just losing one of the group, that's all.
Thank you, Archie. If, you know, Emily Webster and Cody, and it's kind of why we do what we do. What I in particular appreciate about Emily is when you're a big guy like me, and you got Emily, 4'9", 101 pounds. She is the toughest of the 400 people in our athletic department. She majors in chemistry. She has a 3.95 GPA. She never lost a collegiate match. She finished 118-0. So it's just phenomenal. She's there won't be another one like her for quite some time. And Cody, we couldn't be more proud of what you're doing. But it's just kind of a cool thing to look at. And I wish you could be here, but she did all of this in the last month with a torn ACL. I look at Dr. King, you're hearing about all of our injuries, so you better get to work. We're gonna have you start giving an update.